I feel like I want to do a cute little reading vlog, so I'm gonna do it. I'm currently reading This Is Not the Jess Show. I took off the cover because I hate having the covers on when I read. This Is Not the Jess Show by Anna Carey. So far I'm on chapter 8, which is page 54. So I'm not super into it. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, I don't know. I've heard such good things about this book, so like I'm hoping that it'll get good, but right now it feels very middle school. Like, not in the writing style, but just like the story itself. Like, I know they're like in high school, so like that makes sense, but it just like not much has happened. Like, we know her sister is sick, we know she's going to this party. I don't know. I feel like I want more. But yeah, I really want to be reading Attached at the Hip by Christine Riccio right now because I literally love her so much. But I have the ebook checked out for this book currently, and so I'm trying to read this book before I can't have my ebook anymore, because I learned recently that libraries usually buy, there's either like a contract for like a year, or it's a certain amount of checkouts, and it's usually like 26 checkouts. So now I've been more conscious about like actually reading the books that I check out on ebook and audiobook, rather than just like checking them out, letting them sit there, never reading them, and then returning them and then rechecking them out later. So I'm really trying to get myself to read this book while I have the ebook. And I actually haven't read any of it physically yet. Like, all 54 pages that I've read so far have been on the ebook, but I'm gonna sit down now and read the physical book, at least for a chapter or two. And low-key, I might switch to Attached to the Hip because I want to read it so badly right now. But I also, like, I know that I could devour that book in a day. I've already started it. I've read probably about 50-60 pages so far, like the day I got it, but I haven't had time since because I've had to read Little Women for one of my classes, and I have so many essays to do, and like this is a book with short chapters, so I've just been reading like a chapter a day because they're like 4 pages long. But I'm kind of waiting to like read that book because I know once I have time I will devour it in like one day, and I kind of want that experience rather than like waiting days between reading chapters because I literally have no time. So we're gonna stick with this book for now. I'm gonna try to finish it. I have the ebook for 10 more days. I'm gonna try to finish it in the next 10 days. Obviously, if I don't finish it in the next 10 days, I'm not gonna check out the ebook again and I'm just gonna read it physically. But yeah, anyways, that was my little rant. I'm gonna get to reading now. I have also been annotating my books recently, but I've decided not to annotate this book for like 2 reasons. And one is I've realized that I don't want to annotate every book, because I started annotating a really good book, and then after that I was just like, oh, I like annotating, so I started annotating every book after that. But then I've realized that some of the books I read just don't need to be annotated. Like, they can have good quotes in them every once in a while, but like if a book only has like 3 tabs in it, I don't really care. So if I'm not like blown away and putting 50 tabs in the first 50 pages, I'm not annotating the book. So I'm not annotating this book. I've also chosen this not to annotate it because I'm not sure if I like it. And if I'm not sure I'm going to 100% love it, there's a good chance I may donate it in the future, and I don't want to donate an annotated book. Just a preference. So yeah, not annotating this book. Was going to, but since I'm not loving it so far, not annotating it. But I do have a lot of pages left, and if I find a bunch of good quotes that I like or whatever, I might start annotating it. I don't know. Also, my annotation style is very random. Like, I feel like people have like, oh, each color for like character development or like good quotes or like whatever. I just annotate whatever I want. I choose one color and I choose a pen and I underline the little lines. Either I like the quote, it's a funny section, I don't know, something spoke to me about it, wanted to underline it. Sometimes I write a little note next to it, I slap a little tab on there, and I continue, and none of it really means anything to anyone except for me, and that is the way I annotate. So I just read a chapter, so I'm on chapter 9 now. It was only like 5 pages, so it didn't take that long to read. But I'm gonna try to go on my audiobook app and find an audiobook to listen to, because I need to do my Achilles exercises for the night, but I'm still in a reading mood, so I'm gonna try to find an audiobook and start an audiobook while I do that. Let's see what we can find. So I actually found the audiobook for Loveboat Taipei, which is a book that I own and have been wanting to read. I also really want to watch the movie, but I've been waiting to watch the movie until I've read the book. So now that I found the audiobook, I'm going to listen to that and start yet another book. Also, this book is very thick. It's got to be at least 500 pages. That's the acknowledgements. Okay, it's 414 pages, but then there's this whole section in the back that is acknowledgements and a bonus little chapter, I guess. So technically it is almost 500 pages long. I finished my workout. I made it 22 pages into Loveboat Taipei. I think I'm on chapter 4. Again, they're relatively short chapters. I love it so far. Oh my god. The drama, the tea that has already happened. I'm already obsessed with it. I want to continue reading. And although I should read my other book, I think I'm gonna continue with this. Don't know what I'm gonna do while I listen to the audiobook. Maybe I'll play a little game. Not sure yet. But I'm loving this, so I'm gonna stick with it. Good morning. So I read to chapter 8, or I guess I listened to chapter 8 last night. And then I started listening again this morning, just kind of while I was scrolling through my phone. So I'm at chapter 12 right now, which is a decent way in. Chapter 8 is about 70 pages in. But I'm going to continue listening while I make breakfast and my coffee, and then I need to get to homework. So I finished Loveboat Taipei, and I have some thoughts. First of all, starting off with no spoilers, I probably gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, maybe 3.5. It was good. I liked it. But I had a lot of issues with some of the characters and just like how quickly the romance developed at the end. It just like, it felt like it went way too quick. I'm gonna kind of spoil something, so like if you don't want a spoiler, goodbye. But Xavier as a character, I found him so creepy. Like, he's drawing and painting or whatever all these pictures of the main character, and he has like a box filled with them, and they've only known each other for like a month or two, maybe like 2 months at most, probably more like a month. And he has this whole box of like full color sketches, realistic sketches of her, and she finds it romantic, but I would find it like totally creepy if someone did that. So I don't know, I don't like him. Obviously, you know, he's kind of weird near the end of the book. But then, like, her relationship with Rick, like, I understood that it was gonna be there from the beginning of the book, but, like, I still feel like it developed way too quickly, because, like, obviously he kind of just broke up with his longtime girlfriend, and then immediately gets with her, and everything's fine and dandy, and, like, we didn't really fully, like, talk about Jessica. I feel like there's a lot more that needed to happen with Jessica's story arc that didn't happen. And also just like the parents seem to like switch their view very suddenly. I don't know, it was very strange. I liked it. It was a fine book. Like I said, 3 out of 5 stars, but definitely had some issues. I definitely still want to watch the movie though and see how it is.